Hello everyone, welcome back. We are here with another speed build. Very exciting. So, today we have a witchy, cozy little cottage. And I think this could be like partially inspired by the witch house in California. I forget where, but it's been in, you know, various YouTube videos by the likes of Todrick Hall and others. But I don't know. I just needed some cozy vibes. I needed some escapism. I needed a break from real life. And so this is what I did. This is what I made for you through making something for me. And this is what biologists would call a symbiotic relationship. Anyway, so we're getting started now. The shape came together pretty fast on this. I didn't really have like reference images that I used this time around. I just kind of knew what I wanted and was compelled to make a little sunroom greenhouse. I ended up using these windows, which are from Get Together? No, maybe Base Game. I don't have the new Life and Death pack. Otherwise, I would have used the Life and Death windows because they are beautiful and I love them. But I kind of like how these ended up looking. There is a little balcony here, and I tried to be at least a little different and, didn't put a telescope up there. Eventually a canvas goes up there, so it's not really that crazy. I feel like a lot of people would put a canvas up there, but the telescope was kind of becoming to me what the chess table was to Lil Simsy. Speaking of Lil Simsy, she got married. Go check her out, send her some congrats. Everyone that I've shown, because I have friends that I jokingly call my Patreon members because I don't have a Patreon. I send them pictures of the builds in progress while I work on them. And all of them said, I want to live in this one, which is really nice to hear. I think I would happily live in most of the things that I build. Maybe not the Victorian greenhouse, because there's no beds there, and in real life I feel like there would be lots of bugs, which I can handle to an extent, but I kind of get the spooky ookies from spiders. I try not to bother them, but they do freak me out just a touch. Anyway, going in here, putting in some gold detailing on the roof. You're probably going to get to watch me do this twice, because I had to do a lot of custom placing, sizing down. I tried to do things with the tool mod to assist with it. It did not work. Or at least didn't work to the extent that I would have liked. If you are still here, trying to reduce the click away rate, would you let me know if you would prefer to watch these solely with background music? If you would prefer I did not do voiceover, bearing in mind that I am aware that I am kind of a faceless being speaking into a microphone in the hopes that maybe someone on the internet will listen. I don't particularly journal or keep a diary, so I guess maybe I'm almost using this as an outlet, but I'm glad to do sort of like a background music type of situation, and I'll have to do a little bit of research into royalty-free music because I don't have the resources. I don't have the resources right now to try to compose or create my own background music, so I've mainly been relying on YouTube Studio, and most of my videos, when I do the time lapse, end up being 20 to 30 minutes long. So that would be a lot of music to put in, but I've seen other folks do it. I watch and follow a lot of other Sims builders on YouTube to get inspiration. kind of see what they do, what works for them, formatting wise. Going in here, this is the roof of the greenhouse, and I was like fighting back and forth because I wanted there to be like an upper window inside, but I didn't want you to be able to see the roof. I think you actually can still see the roof, but I tried to make it where you couldn't, and eventually you're going to see how I had to play with the roof so you could actually see inside the upper floor. But right now I'm playing with the lamps, the hanging lights in the greenhouse. These are the lights from Movie Hangout. Honestly, I'm not going to say that you need to get Movie Hangout just for those lights, but they're pretty great because they're not quite as long as the similar hanging lanterns we got in Paranormal, and they size up and down, I think, a little easier. So, there's a plug for Movie Hangout. Here is the kitchen, and it ends up being a pretty large kitchen. It takes up most of the bottom floor of this house. Bearing in mind, it's a pretty small house anyway. I forgot to check whether or not it qualifies as a tiny home. I feel like it may be pretty close. It's not a micro home, but it could still count as maybe the top tier of a tiny house. Sorry, I'm keeping an eye on my audio here as I record, and I think I just got a pretty big spike that I'm going to try to fix before I sync this up to the video. Sound mixing is still kind of new. I'm currently recording my voiceovers in Audacity while I watch a time lapse of the video, like sped up, and instead of recording in my video editing software, I'm recording in Audacity, which is a little different. I know a lot of people record in probably After Effects. I don't know. I think I have the ability to do that, but my laptop is old. If I did start a Patreon, it would probably be to start a new PC fund, so I could keep doing this for you guys. I do think that I'm sort of like getting better each and every time, but I've been trying to like see this as an art piece and kind of learn as I go and not be too hard on myself. Now we're going upstairs. This is the cozy little bedroom, and as you can see, I kind of decided that the upstairs for this house was going to lean into those Art Nouveau style stained glass windows with I guess they're not roses. They could be called like a lotus flower maybe. But it's also like that same sort of flower that's in a lot of like Art Nouveau imagery where it's like one perspective, one side of a flower. So it works with the stained glass idea. Wow. Thank goodness I got Horse Ranch, because a lot of the furniture ends up leaning more towards the style I like to build it anyway, which is like sort of old-timey, eclectic, cozy, sort of period in style. And here, I think this is the new fireplace from the latest base game update. At the very least, I used the new like brick rug from the new base game update, and I put a boot rack by the front door, which I think I do in everything, but it's realistic. I mean, I guess it's a little bit of oxymoron for me to say that I'm doing realistic things when I really lean into making more fantasy structures when it comes to stuff that I build. But my therapist said it's a good outlet, so I'm going to keep doing it, especially when I, can't do certain projects in my actual apartment. Although I have done a lot. I do a lot of what I call, and what the internet calls, renter-friendly DIYs that are, moderately temporary, and do, limited damage to what you're renting. But anyway, you can see on top of this fireplace, I ended up moving a mirror up with tool mod. Thank goodness for the tool mod, because you can place mirrors wherever you want. And I have this old-timey radio from Horse Ranch, which is fun because I actually just ordered, it's new. It is a radio, but it can also play music via Bluetooth. A radio that looks a lot like that's going in my bathroom, that I'm very excited for, so I can use it to listen to my favorite murder and, various other music, because I found that I lately must listen to something when in the shower. And I just bumped the microphone, so I apologize. I will try to edit it out. We'll see. We're going in now and we're cluttering up the plant room using lots of stuff from Blooming Rooms. The hanging plant from Blooming Rooms must go in almost everything that I build. I love it. That and the one from Paranormal, but the hanging one from Blooming Rooms is really probably the best ceiling plant we have. If the Sims team for some reason does hop in here, please give us more dangly plants. We love them. We want more of them. We love dangly plants. You can see I just put one of those antique book stands from Vampires in the greenhouse room, which is a little bit, even though I still in fact use that object, of a departure from what I usually do, which is where I size it down and put it on top of a counter so it's like an open recipe book. We're trying, we're branching out, but also keeping things that make us comfy, like this floral wallpaper from Cottage Living that I use in everything because I just really like it. Actually, back to the Sims team. If you're listening and you're going to keep making merch, please make the Cottage Living wallpapers and other wallpapers from the game available as peel and stick wallpaper. I would love that. I would, in fact, I would probably have to do a PayPal Pay in 4 for it because I'm sure that the price point would be kind of high, but I would buy it. Please. Please, Sims team. EA, Maxis, whoever you are, please, please, please release some wallpapers from The Sims IRL. Now, we're going in to the top of the greenhouse. This is when I think went into day 2 or day 3 of building and decided that I needed this roof detail on the greenhouse as well. And then I played for the longest time with what kind of chimney to use. I finally discovered that the chimneys will smoke if the fireplace is on the lot and is lit. Makes sense. I ended up going with this round one, and you can see it changes colors once or twice. I do end up going with the red one. I think it fits the vibe the best. But, we are very trial and error here. We being me. Going in, setting off the corners with columns, playing around with the color of the chimney. What a time to be alive. Oh, yep, here we go. This is what I said. You would have to watch me do this again, because when I messed with the roof to where you could see inside, it got rid of them, which is a bummer. So I had to place them all again, and I left it in because I want you to have content, to get through your workday, to watch in the background, to bring you peace and joy and calm. A friend of mine said that her partner found these. If I said this last video, I apologize. And that he found my voice to be soothing, which I've gotten before. It's been a while. But it is nice to hear. Now we're going in to do some landscaping around the house. No one will be shocked to know that I use lots of Cottage Living debug for the landscaping. I use the foxglove plant and then these rocks to set off the raised land. Watch a lot of other people build, and it seems like when they do these tiered builds, and I think it has to do with an element of design too, it's always a 3-layer sort of thing. And I like to follow the rule of 3 when it comes to decorating and placing objects. It's a comedy rule as well, if any of you want to know from my acting training. comedy works well in rules of three, and so do a lot of other things. Three is a very interesting number. Makes a lot of sense as to why, like, when you lean more magic numerology, like Charmed, three is very powerful. Speaking of Charmed and witchcraft, if I have any witch viewers, drop me a hello in the comments. I love my witchy girlies. Here we're going in. This was actually a lot of fun. And I am putting in some of the walls from cottage living and like kind of letting them twist about to set off the lot in a way that wasn't just square, which I really liked. And then we use more debug from cottage living to sort of clutter up the lot, but like not take away sight lines of things to where it's still like very visually appealing from a lot of different angles. We use the cottage living pathway with the purple flowers between the rocks. I wish that we had some more terrain paint like this that would work well, that wasn't necessarily purple. In this case, purple works because I think this is a witch, a cute witch. And now that I've built it and like done some thinking, I think that part of the design of the character I chose, and maybe like a little bit of the house itself, I designed around the fact that I've been playing Infinity Nikki a lot. It has brought me a lot of joy. I will say that they are jonesing real hard for my money. I haven't done it yet. I don't think I will. But I can see how it would be very tempting to drop like a slick, 99 cents to $10 on more attempts to get those pretty clothes. But if you have a PC that can handle it, or a PlayStation 5, which is what I've been playing on, I highly recommend Infinity Nikki. It's a lot of fun. If you are a similar whimsical-minded mindset like myself, you will probably feel pretty inspired by it. So go check it out and bring yourself a little joy and whimsy. I will say some of the storyline I'm still trying to figure out, and some of like the mechanics of the game, not the gameplay, but the mechanics of all of the menus, definitely have a learning curve to them. I've done a lot of like IGN Googling to figure out what it all means, but I've been having a lot of fun. Now we're going in. This is the bonus bathroom that I almost forgot to add. I seem to do that a lot. I build a house and then I forget that they need a bathroom. And I also am realizing now that this house does not have a trash can, indoor or outdoor. And I don't know how to rectify that. I will try to find a place to put one in, but more than likely, this is going to go up on the gallery pretty soon, and you guys might have to put in a trash can. But, I mean, otherwise, I've already play tested it, and you can cook. It works just fine for cooking. You can use the sink and the tub and the toilet, and you can get up and get in the bed. And all of the chairs, I think, work. And I had to move the coffee table, but you can light the fireplace. That works. Here we're decorating the little pond that I added because, as you can see earlier, I tried to put in the pond from Get Famous and it did not work. I did not have room for it. And I don't really think you can size it down because I think the fish effects would get placed in a strange way. Yeah. Now, I think at some point here, I start adding some bugs or pond effects. I also just realized we had a brief blackout of footage. Apologies for that. It is a little too much work for me to go back and change it at this point, so it's going to have to stay in, and I hope you won't fault me too much. Again, we're trying to lean into creating art, not trying to make it perfect, but also, trying to use it as a way to create joy. I think this is pretty much finishing touches. I've got about a minute of footage left, so I'm going to yap at you a little more. This and yap. Putting in some It's just debug objects. I put in some beehives. I think I put a beehive in most, if not all, builds at this point. It's pretty clear that everything is very idyllic and sort of like do-it-yourselfy, which I try to do, a little homestead-esque, some queer homesteading. We put in a bike. You can see that this girly pop rides her bike. She's a witch, but she likes the bicycle. And who can fault her? It's yellow and it's very cute. But this is just about it, guys. I'm going to let this voiceover play out. We're going to come into closing cinematics and screenshots. Drop a comment below if you'd like to see anything specific next. Appreciate you. Have a good one.